Don't hire a tax preparer for your landscaping business before you hear this. Because right now, as tax season ramps up, the IRS is warning taxpayers about something that hits small business owners especially hard. There are scammers out there pretending to be tax preparers. They look professional, they sound confident, they promise big refunds, and they use the stress of tax season to take your money, steal your identity, and sometimes even steal your refund. And if you're a landscaping business owner, you're a prime target. Why? Because you've got equipment, trucks, trailers, fuel, repairs, payroll, subcontractors, sometimes cash deposits, sometimes multiple bank accounts. And if you're busy running routes and managing crews, the last thing you want is a tax mess on top of everything else. Scammers know that. They know you're tired. They know you want it handled, and they know you don't have time to double check every detail. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the 5 big red flags that help you spot a fake preparer fast. And I'm going to explain these in a way that makes sense for landscaping business owners because you don't need a return filed. You need it filed correctly with clean records and with someone who will still be around if the IRS has questions later. Let's get into it. The first red flag is what the IRS calls a ghost preparer. A ghost preparer is someone who prepares your tax return, takes your money, and then refuses to sign the return as the paid preparer. Now, that might sound like a small detail, but it's a huge deal, and here is why. Anyone who is paid to prepare your federal tax return is supposed to have what's called a P10, which is a Preparer Tax Identification Number. And they're supposed to put their name and that P10 on your tax return. That signature is accountability. It tells the IRS, yes, I prepared this return and I stand behind it. So when somebody refuses to sign your return that they prepared, that you're paying them for, what they're really saying is, if this goes bad, you're on your own. And for landscaping business owners, this is where it can get real ugly real fast. If a preparer decides to help you by making up deductions or inflating expenses or putting numbers in places they don't belong, the IRS doesn't come after them first. They come after you. Your name is on the return. Your signature is on the line. You're the one who gets the notice. You're the one who gets the penalties, and you're the one who has to prove what is real. Ghost preparers love to print the return and tell you to sign it yourself or even to mail it in, or they'll e-file it but leave their name off so it looks like you prepared the return. That's the whole point. They want to disappear. So protect yourself with a simple rule. When you review your return, make sure the paid preparer section is filled out and signed. If they say, I don't need to sign, don't debate with them, walk away. The second red flag is the promise of a huge refund before they even look at your paperwork. If you're running a landscaping business, you already know that your numbers can change based on a lot of things. Fuel costs go up, repairs hit you out of nowhere, you buy new equipment, you replace a trailer, you hire more help. Your refund is not something anyone can guess without actually looking at your real numbers. So when a preparer says, don't worry, I can get you a big refund, or I can get you more than anyone else can, before they've even reviewed your income expenses, that's not confidence. That's a setup. Here's how the scam usually works. They hook you with the idea of a big refund, and then they charge you based on that refund. They might say, my fee is 20% of your refund. That sounds like they're motivated to help you, but it's actually backwards. It motivates them to inflate your refund, even if it's illegal. They can do that by making up deductions you never had or overstating your expenses, even claiming credits you don't qualify for. They might even invent a business loss that's not real. They might claim dependents you shouldn't claim. They might play games with your income to qualify you for credits that don't apply to you. And for business owners in this industry, it's easy for a scammer to hide behind your normal expenses. They'll bury fake numbers in supplies, fuels, repairs, or subcontractor costs and tell you this is how everyone does it. But the IRS sees that your numbers don't match the normal range for your income level, or your income doesn't match what's reported on your 1099s, then that refund can turn into a huge tax bill. And here's the part people forget. The IRS already gets copies of your W-2s and your 1099s. So when something doesn't line up, it's not hard for them to spot it. A true tax professional will not promise you a refund before reviewing your information. And a true tax professional typically doesn't charge you a cut of your refund. They charge based on the work or the complexity of your tax return, not on how much they can get you back. Now, the third red flag is when someone asks you to sign a blank or incomplete return. This one is simple. Just don't do it. If a preparer slides a form in front of you and says, just sign it and I'll fill in the numbers later, that's a major problem. Your signature on a tax return, it's not a casual thing. It's legally stating that the return is true, correct, and complete. So if it's blank or half filled, how can you possibly agree to that? For landscaping business owners, this is especially dangerous because your tax return includes sensitive information. It includes your social security number, your home address, your business income, your bank account information for direct deposit. So when you sign a blank return, you're handing over all control. So here's your rule. You review the completed return before you sign anything. And if someone rushes you or gets annoyed when you ask questions or acts like you don't need to review it, then that is not a professional. That's someone hoping you don't look too closely. The fourth red flag is how they want to get paid. If a preparer insists on cash only and won't give you a receipt, that is a huge warning sign. Cash leaves less of a trail, and scammers love that. A real business should be able to take normal forms of payment and provide a clear receipt with clear terms and clear pricing. But the biggest payment red flag is when a preparer suggests that your refund should go into their bank account. Sometimes they'll make it sound helpful. They'll say, I'll have the refund sent to me, take my fee, and send you the rest. That's not helpful, that's risky, and it's not legal. There's no good reason for your tax refund to go into anyone's account except yours. If your refund goes into their account, they control everything. They can take more than you agreed to, they can delay giving you the money, or they can completely disappear. So you need to review the direct deposit information on your final return. Look at the routing number, look at the account number. Make sure it's your account and not theirs. The fifth red flag is pressure, rushing, and disappearing. Scammers love urgency. They want you stressed. They want you moving fast. They want you to feel like you're behind and this is your only option. So they'll say things like, we have to file today, or don't worry about the details, or just trust me, I do this all the time. But you cannot outsource responsibility. You can outsource preparation, but you cannot outsource accountability. If your return is wrong, the IRS comes to you. Now, a real tax professional, they will welcome your questions. A real tax professional expects you to review the return. A real tax professional gives you a full copy of your return for your records. And a real tax professional has a year-round presence because issues don't just come up in April. This is important for business owners in the landscaping industry because IRS letters don't show up on a schedule. You might get something in June or July. You might get a notice next year. You need someone who will still answer the phone when that happens. So if a preparer seems temporary, hard to reach, or like they only exist during the tax season, be careful. Now, let's say you're listening to this and you think, okay, I might have already dealt with someone like this, or I'm not sure if my return was done correctly. Don't panic, but don't ignore it either. If you believe a tax preparer acted wrong or filed something without your permission, there are steps you can take, and the IRS has forms for reporting misconduct. You can also take steps to protect your identity and your account with the IRS. But the bigger goal is preventing this in the first place because it's always easier to avoid the mess than to go back and have to clean the mess up later. So let's recap. When you're hiring someone to handle your taxes, you're not just hiring someone to type numbers into software. You're hiring someone to handle your income, your deductions, your identity, and your financial future. So you need to watch for the signs. Watch for a preparer who won't sign. Watch for huge refund promises before they even see your information. Watch for anyone asking you to sign blank forms. Watch for shady payment demands and refunds going into their account. And watch for the pressure and disappearing act. And if you're a business owner who wants your taxes done the right way with clean bookkeeping, clear strategy, and a professional who will actually be there when you need them, schedule a discovery call with me. On that call, we'll talk about your business, your current setup, what's working, what's not, and what kind of support you need. And if we're a good fit, we'll map out the next steps. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.